Hello.
Welcome everybody to another ADVChina, and for those of you who are expecting us to ride around on bikes, once again, we can't bring ourselves to share joyous, fun experiences, and adventures when there's this very critical situation going on. We would like to share with you how it is that you can actually help China in this current situation, because we've had a very bad experience trying to help. When was it? We sent a couple of...
I can actually pull it up here. So okay. We got the tracking here. It was on Monday, January 27th, we had shipped off. Oh, that's when I shipped mine off.
Yeah, me too. Basically, I sent a box of masks and other medical supplies to a friend of mine in Shenzhen.
I sent 3 jugs of hand sanitizer, like the kind that you can refill bottles with.
Yeah.
And then I also sent 2 boxes of masks.
Yeah.
These kind.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, we've been in constant contact with the people we sent them to. Send them to private individuals,
yes.
Not to like some charity or anything.
What I did was reach out to a bunch of friends and said, who's interested in not going through a government organization and can actually hand this stuff out to people that need it. And a couple of people rose up to the occasion.
Now, the problem with this is you can actually track your package all the way up to China, but once it reaches China, in my case, it got all the way to Guangzhou. Once it reaches Guangzhou, you lose track of it. Then
That's
it's kind of like...
exactly where mine is, too.
It's kind of just like there. So It's being processed or whatever. Haven't heard anything back, but the guys have not received them yet.
No, and we've been in constant contact, too, and they're like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And I keep showing them the tracking, and they're like, okay, now I get it.
Thing is, I've been actually looking into this, and a lot of people are saying that right now, anything that's being sent in that's marked as medical supplies, which is what we marked ours as, is actually being blocked, and they're not receiving it. They're saying you should mark it as like office supplies or something. That kind of thing is going.
But that's already suspicious. Like a lot of people are getting their stuff taken either way.
So
we'll give you a solution in a little bit. I found a little loophole.
Yeah, Similk found a way that we can actually help people in China, because obviously sending these things through is not helping. There's another big problem, and that is the corruption in the charities there.
Yeah.
And the Red Cross has been caught out now, basically doing all sorts of crap. Look, the Red Cross in China already has a bad reputation. It stems from the whole Guomei incidents. Maybe you can explain what that was all about.
I don't want to get into the whole thing. You know what they can do? Go watch the entire video we made on ADVChina.
Yeah, that's true.
But the Red Cross, the thing is, this is the problem. This is how I can break it down.
Yeah.
In China, if you're going to have a charitable organization, anything, even if it's third party or NGO, it has to go through the CCP.
Yeah.
And once stuff has to go through the CCP, they get claim over everything that you do. That's how China works, right?
Sure.
So you have like millions of masks and medical supplies and all this kind of stuff that end up in the hands of the CCP, which distributes to either themselves, puts them in warehouses, or gives them to the People's Liberation Army.
Yeah, or they give them to friends who've got Guanxi. That's what happened with the Red Cross. Private hospitals ended up getting the majority of the masks that were donated, rather than the actual hospitals that needed them.
And it's created a very corrupt microeconomy for this kind of stuff, which is despicable.
So I've got a friend who's an electrical engineer in Shenzhen. And he was telling me that one of the companies in Shenzhen that makes medical equipment found out that the Wuhan Public Health Lab was getting seriously backed up on running PCR on the test samples, right? So the general manager went into the factory in the middle of the night. He got 2 HSPCR machines they had in stock, ran all the commissioning tests on them, then called SF, which is Shunfeng, that's like the biggest shipping. It's kind of like UPS, and had them picked up for delivery to Wuhan. So the guy basically rushed out there to his factory, got the best machines, got 2 of them up and running, calibrated them, got them ready to send to Wuhan. They arrived in Wuhan just after noon and got sent to the Red Cross warehouse. And they're still in the Red Cross warehouse more than a week later, despite being specifically addressed to the public health lab and being labeled as highly urgent. So this is the kind of thing that's going on. People are donating. The money is being sent, the medical equipment is being sent to China, but it's all being kind of squirreled away, put into Red Cross, warehouses.
I mean, this is a mirror image of what we saw with the 2008 Sichuan earthquakes. We don't have to go through that again, but the way that was dealt with when government put up charitable organizations, like real, because people are like really worried about giving their money up in China.
Sure.
We know that it is the least charitable country per
in the world. Yeah, so
world.
People aren't charitable anyway.
They're not charitable anyway, but if there is an outlet for them, they're already really scrupulous and skeptical about where their money's going to go to. So when they see the CCP puts up a channel for them to donate their money, their hard-earned money that should be going to their family and their idea.
Yeah.
they can trust it. And then it was completely found out to be corrupt as well, going to local officials, all kinds of like luxury homes around the world, property buying. It was nuts. And they don't want to see that happen again.
No.
You know.
So what we're trying to say is that going through any official channels to donate towards this is wrong, because what's happening is it's all being tied up in bureaucracy and red tape and corruption. And that's not what you want. You don't want to see your hard-earned money or the money that you are donating to a good cause going to the wrong people and being wasted.
There's a thing with charity where you click that thing and you send your $100 and whatever, and you feel really good.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm helping someone, but you have to really be vigilant about this. You have to be hyper vigilant about where your money's going.
Yeah. So anyway, like I said, we did, CMILK discovered a way around this, and we're going to talk about that. But we wanted to show you something which is kind of interest. I'm sure many of you guys have been seeing these videos or images of trucks and people spraying crap all over the streets of the cities of China. Now, when you listen to the audio of this, it's got a very distinctive buzzing noise. And this is something I'm very used to in China, right? Especially in Guangdong. What they do, and you'll very often see this, is they will basically take these kind of smoke machines or whatever you call them.
Sure.
Or sometimes it's in the form of like a bomb. And what they do is they open up the sewer and they'll throw it into the sewer, or they'll aim it in the sewer, or you'll see people walking around with these same things, spraying them in like the hedges on the side of the road and things like that. And what it's for is it's there to actually kill rodents and cockroaches and things like that. It's actually there to kill pests.
It's pest control.
I can't be 100% sure that's what they're spraying here, but from the sound and the look of it, I'm so used to seeing this in Shenzhen that it's my educated guess that what they're doing is they're basically using this pest control stuff, which is there to kill rodents and cockroaches and stuff. And it's very effective. And they're using it to try and disinfect the cities. Now, this stuff is freaking poisonous.
Well, these fogger machines, a lot of people have confirmed some of them are bleach.
Okay.
A disinfectant.
But the stuff that they're actually like
with the
spraying,
canisters,
that's the same stuff I see them spraying into the hedges on the side of the road in Shenzhen.
It was funny when I first moved to Huizhou, I saw in the sewers the smoke coming out of them, and I was like, it's not freezing. It's not like in New York City when you see the fog coming out of the sewers, you know. So I was always curious as to what
it's like
that was.
this. You see this crap that the guys are spraying?
Right.
That's you normally see them with backpacks doing the same, or they do it inside the sewers.
That hose thing. Yeah.
Now, one thing you'll notice in Shenzhen is every time they do that, they do it like once a month or so, especially in the summer, you'll suddenly start to see cockroaches everywhere, because the cockroaches escape the sewers and stuff, obviously because they're dying, and you'll see them like just rolling around dying on the streets.
It's all over Guangdong.
Yeah, so you'll see
everywhere.
dead cockroaches all over.
And the rats scatter as well. That's when you see rats invading houses.
Yeah. Now, the reason why we suspect that this chemical that they're spraying is the same thing is a friend of ours just sent us a video
this morning.
Yesterday. Was it this morning?
Yeah.
Yeah. In his own apartment, which we'll get to.
It's coming right up.
It's coming right up. Come on. Let's go. And look, the sound is exactly the same. The sound that those machines make. It's this buzzing sound. It's like brrr, you know.
It sounds like a swarm of bees.
Yeah, it sounds like a swarm of bees. And that's why, like, this stuff coming out the trucks, I don't know, but the handheld stuff, the consistency, the way it looks like smoke coming out of a smoke machine, like this stuff, this is exactly what you see.
Yeah.
What this guy's busy doing here.
He's on like
a hoverboard doing it. But that exact machine. Okay, here's our friend's video.
Friend.
So he woke up and he saw this cockroach. We've taken his audio out just because, you know,
of course.
We want to keep his privacy intact, but he found that cockroach like squirming around, so he just killed it with a slipper. And then this is in his apartment, by the way. And he lives in Guangdong, which is, you know... And then there's another one in his kitchen.
This one's busy dying.
Yeah, busy dying, right? And he's like, what's going on?
Yeah, then he told me, then I saw another one.
Yeah.
And then later he found much, much more.
So this is why we suspect that this crap that they're spraying is the same kind of cockroach.
Yeah, because he doesn't have
rodent.
cockroach traps, he told me.
Yeah. I mean, so what we're trying to... Yeah, let's get out of there for a minute. What we're trying to say is that stuff that they're spraying all over is, if this is what we suspect it is, it's very poisonous and it's really not good for anyone to be breathing it in. And the fact that it kills rodents and cockroaches and stuff means that it's probably decimating the wildlife as well.
Potentially.
I mean, like...
if it's used to deal with rats, you know how hard it is to kill a rat.
Yeah, we know.
If you live in China, you've had to kill a rat or two in your day, and
exactly.
it's tough to kill. So if they're using chemical grade stuff that can take out rats, can't even imagine what it
cockroaches
would do long term.
I think cockroaches is even worse because
well,
cockroaches are so
they can hold their breath as
hardy.
Well. Right.
You know what I mean? So if they're using stuff that they're using to kill cockroaches to try and combat this in the cities, it's probably going to have some very adverse effects on people's health because that crap's going to get into everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get on to... I'd like you to discuss and tell everybody exactly how it is that you figured a way to help the people in China, and perhaps some of you can do the same.
So while me and Winston were talking to people on the ground that could receive packages from us, we kind of had this theory that they weren't going to go through anyway. Maybe it was our pessimism or skepticism about this whole thing. Yeah. But when we heard that customs was really anal about this thing, we were like, we got to figure out another way, because so many people have been sending me and you private messages saying, how can I help the people there? And I'm busting my ass to try to find reliable charities or at least some sort of channel, GoFundMe type things that will actually get the money on the ground. A GoFundMe page that I had actually found ended up getting shut down because they were skeptical about how they were going to get the money out to the people that needed it. So a couple of the people that we reached out to responded and said, why don't we do this? And we talked about a way. So they said, this guy ships motorcycle parts from abroad. And we know him from Churchill Customs, our motorcycle shop.
He used to hang out with us all the time.
Right, nice guy.
He took me out to buy that KDX that I almost died on.
Right.
You know, he's a good guy.
He's a good guy. So he was like, I have all these shipping channels, and you know as well as I do, if you do any sort of shipping in China, you need to have some sort of connection with either customs or some people that know customs. Yeah. You know, China's a big Guanxi network, a connections network.
Sure.
So in order to get your stuff, we've shipped tons of stuff to China that we weren't able to get our hands on. Camera equipment, last minute stuff.
Yeah, I mean, let me just interject there. When we were filming Conquering Southern China.
Good story, yeah.
We ordered, we had the shot where, it does a 360 around our helmets. It's a very cool shot. And we'd ordered a special weighted pole for a GoPro. It's just a GoPro pole, right? It's for filming. And it cost like a couple $100 US. And we had it shipped to China. While we were on the road, actually, no, before we left. And it got held up at customs. So we just had to get on the road and start filming. During our entire trip, we were negotiating with the customs to let it go. Right. They wanted bribes, they wanted extra money, they wanted proof of this and that. And it's just a freaking pole. It's like buying a tripod or something. It's nothing special. It's not illegal. It's not like some controlled substance. It's a freaking like a tripod. And they were like, oh, they're shipping something in that's worth a little bit of money. Let's try to milk them for it. And they just kept going. Oh, you're going to have to pay extra. You're going to have to do this.
We're talking about high-level customs people asking directly for bribes.
Yeah. So, I mean, the fact that they've done that to us on multiple occasions, not just that one time. No. I mean, a subscriber of mine once tried to send a care package to me, which had like some whiskey and stuff in it or whatever. I never got it.
No.
And
my mom used to send me packages for holidays. Half of them I didn't get.
Yeah, exactly. You're dealing with a very corrupt system in the first place. And now that there's this onus on, let's just say, things like masks, etc., are so valuable right now that, when they see that coming in, they'll be like, well, why should I forward this on if I can rather take it and sell it myself or give it to the government who requires more masks to send to Wuhan or something. So we highly suspect that any of these packages being sent in are just being hijacked and stolen.
Well, this will actually play into this. So he said, because I have these shipping channels for motorcycle parts, and he's still doing business right now. Sure. It's not like he shut that down. But he told me, number one, the situation on the ground in Huizhou is much worse than anyone's talking about because there was like no confirmed cases and stuff there. Yet everyone's spazzing out.
Sure.
And probably a few deaths from the videos that we saw. But anyway, he said, why don't I use the same shipping channels to get masks from a reliable source, right? From eBay, from Amazon, all this kind of stuff. And then I'll make sure that they arrive. But he specifically asked me, and I thought this was interesting. This is not someone that's anti-government, by the way. No. He said, you have to promise me that I can only use your money through non-government channels. And he actually thought that I was only interested in giving him money if he went through the correct government channels. Sure. So I was like, no, you can only use it privately. Yeah. And he said, the only way I can do that is if you send me the money, I get the mask, I get the Dettol, all this kind of stuff, and I physically, me and my friends physically hand it to people that need it in hospitals that need it.
Yeah, because we want people to get these masks, you know,
Right.
actual people on the streets, people
Right.
that need them.
Right.
And unfortunately, when you deal with the Chinese government or any official organization, the people that actually need the stuff very seldom get it at the end of the day, unfortunately.
So the real solid method that I used was, number one, I emptied out my WeChat wallet, which has RMB in there, like Chinese currency. And then nowadays you can actually hook up your Chinese or your Western credit card or foreign credit card to WeChat, so you can actually send money through there.
Yeah.
But actually for him, what was more useful on top of that, I sent him a bunch of money through PayPal.
Yeah.
And what he did was go through his channels to buy a bunch. He then showed me the receipts, showed me that they're on their way, and he's going to confirm when they're all, completely delivered to him.
Yeah.
And then he's going to give me proof as to why this was. He was very happy, posted it all over his Chinese Moments. A couple of haters on there I actually saw in his WeChat feed. They're like, why are you trusting a foreigner to do this stuff? And he was like, shut up.
Yeah, come
know
on,
what I
man,
mean?
seriously.
We're friends.
Yeah, that's the thing. You need to know that you have someone you can trust. And that's why we're very comfortable sending money to someone
we
like
trust.
Mickey, who we have dealt with for a long time in the past, and we know he's a good guy.
Yeah.
And, there's some people that I can trust that I've sent some money to as well. And that's what you need. You need that person that you can trust. Because right now, it's so corrupt. And, people are taking advantage of the situation like you won't believe. If you think we're joking about the fact that the Daigou, these parallel traders, have bought out the world supply of masks,
Go look.
Seriously. I kind of put that challenge out in my last video, and the amount of people that have left comments saying that they live in a tiny Swedish village or a tiny place in wherever, and they say all their masks are sold out. It's everywhere.
Yeah, a guy in Norway in a small town sent me a message the other day.
Everywhere. Every single part of the globe now has almost no masks because of these opportunists. I spoke to my wife about it, and she was like, yeah, it's true, but it's also true that people are buying stuff in preparation for themselves.
For sure. But how do you
which is good.
differentiate
But
that
the problem,
right now?
the problem is that they don't buy a few. They buy like thousands for themselves.
To be fair though, if there was an outbreak in the US, people would also be trying to save their own families. So I think there'd be a lot more charity efforts.
But I promise you right now that if there was an outbreak here, nobody would get a mask because the bloody parallel traders have raped all the shelves of them. They're like, well, we don't care about local people, so we'll just steal everything.
Right.
It's very greedy, and it's something that I'm very much against.
Anyway, the bad news is that there is no easy channel. We just want to be completely transparent with you. It's not easy to do this, but if you know people in China on the ground that you can get money to, they will probably know someone that can get shipments in. Right?
Correct.
There's someone will know someone is my point. So only trust people on the ground that you personally know.
Yeah, and one thing that we have to also talk about, just briefly, is how the WHO is not to be trusted at all.
Correct.
This guy, the head of the WHO, Tedros, he's not a great guy. There's allegations that he tried to cover up cholera outbreaks in his own country 3 times. Allegations, and I'm saying they're allegations. It doesn't mean it's true.
Allegations of communist ties.
Absolutely, and it's just pretty straightforward that the guy keeps praising the Chinese government for their actions. That's
too obvious.
It's just like, oh yeah, China's done such a great job. China's doing such a great job. We should not cancel flights or anything. It's like this guy obviously has an agenda, and his agenda is to pander to the Communist Party, and we can just see it through his actions and his words. And if you just keep an eye on what's being said the whole time, he now is making a big focus on, what did he say? The biggest danger right now is like trolls and conspiracy theories. So the guy is focusing on trolls and conspiracy theories rather than focusing on how we can fix this problem. And it just shows you where his focus is. His focus is on, these trolls and conspiracy theories guys are making China look bad. So those are the people, and that's what we should focus on, rather than we need to focus on educating people on what to do, and we need to focus on, quarantining this properly.
And that's the thing, is his complaints about the trolls and conspiracy theories it would be one thing if it was directly linked to misinformation with empirical proof that it's hurting people.
Yes.
Versus it's very transparent that what he means is it's making China look bad.
Correct.
Right? And we're too far into this for that to be a thing right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we wanted to shout out a channel that we've been following very closely.
Yeah, and it's something that I suggest all of you take a look.
Definitely. His timeline is amazing.
Yeah. Which is kind of interesting because as we've been talking about this the whole time, we've been kind of following our nose and what we know about China, etc. And we happened to come across this guy's videos last week.
Yeah.
And
prosperity.
He's pretty much in the same direction as what we've been talking about. It's peak prosperity.
He's a stats guy.
Now, the nice thing about this guy is that he's
a doctor,
an actual doctor. And he's studied virology and things like that. So you can actually trust what he says as coming from an educated standpoint. He does not have experience dealing with China, though. He's made a couple of mistakes that we could point out. But the fact of the matter is, we'd say he's pretty much spot on so far. And he's very logical about everything. And he trusts the numbers and he works with the numbers.
The reason I like him is that when you can see a YouTube channel when they're just trying to cash in on like a tragedy or something or kind of stir up people's fear.
Yes.
You watch him and it's not like you're going to get blown away with entertainment. It's just facts.
Yes.
It's math and facts explained simply and clearly with good prediction.
Yeah, so honestly, we suggest that you go to Peak Prosperity and take a look.
Heartily recommend it. It's in the description, by the way.
Yeah, go give them a subscribe and say ADVChina sent me.
Yeah, perfect.
That'd be nice.
All right.
Okay, so let's do some questions and then we're going to wrap this up, guys, because we really just wanted to put that message out there on how it is you can help China.
Correct. Santi says, thanks for the intro so long ago via our motorcycles. Oh, interesting. Just another patty. Relax. It's just mild flu. All is well. Nothing to see here. Committee has decreed mortality at 2.1%.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's sarcasm, by the way.
Yeah, don't fall for this flu crap. It's way worse than the flu.
If you watch Peak Prosperity, you'll understand why. Yeah. William Swenson says, for alcohol or caffeine, apply as needed. Thank you very much. We will need it. Ben Ralph, thanks for joining. Coronavirus. That's their name. Hi, how bad is it where y'all are, by the way? In Los Angeles, there's a few cases, I believe.
Yes, and it is growing. It is a little bit concerning, but I'd say the bad part right now is the lack of awareness. First of all, there are no masks or hand sanitizers left in any of the shops anymore. So if you wanted to, you could. Even if you wanted to, you couldn't get it right now.
Right.
And the lack of awareness means people are still, taking unnecessary risks at the moment. And I don't want to fearmonger or anything like that, but we should be more careful these days.
For sure.
So,
wash your hands more, please.
Wash your hands.
And you don't need to go to hugely populated areas if you can avoid it.
There's a massive Asian population in California and in LA, and you've got your Chinatowns and you've got your Asian markets and stuff, and these are the places I would say to stay clear of at the moment. Now, not out of racism or any kind of
do you know why
discrimination.
We can back this up?
Why?
Because my parents-in-law, who are Chinese, are avoiding these places to avoid new arrival Chinese people.
That's correct. All of the Chinese people that we know are not going to these Asian markets.
Right.
So, you can call them racist if you want or discriminatory, but they know what's going on because, especially this time of year, with the Chinese New Year, it's just the perfect time for people to be traveling back and forth. And so even if they're not coming directly from China, they may have gone into Thailand and they're flying in from Thailand and potentially carrying this virus. And so going to these crowded Asian markets and stuff is a very bad idea at the moment. And I think people need to understand that, at least for the next 2 weeks or so, to avoid those kind of places.
We don't know the time frame yet.
Yeah. But I'm just saying at least.
Sure.
At a minimum. And so without this information and without this being in the sort of general zeitgeist here in LA and I'd suspect in the whole of America right now, people are putting themselves at unnecessary risk. And that's to answer your question.
Chibicus, will you guys do a fan meetup at Dinosaur Barbecue? You still haven't been to Dinosaur Barbecue. It's fantastic.
I'd love to check it out.
Next time we're in upstate New York.
Cool.
4chan for Prez. Love you guys. Glad you got out. Thank you. Specialist. Stupid snap. Thanks for keeping us informed. Thank you. James Nguyen, you are amazing. No, you are amazing.
Thank you.
Jim Bob, 6-pack on me. With love from Texas.
Awesome.
Thanks for everything you do. Please consider Montenegro for your next ride to Chad. I have a friend that lives there. Thank you. Peter Molchan, thank you. Matthew Lowfroth, thank you very much for your New Zealand chin. PP Hardaway, €1, thank you. Danny Squishy, thank you. Potato Radio. Hi, talking to Catholic diocese in Hong Kong. Same rules. Hong Kong, you don't have to worry about the corruption as much.
Yeah.
In Hong Kong, and they will still allow, from what we know, some boxes and stuff to go. But getting them into the mainland is a different story.
That's the big thing. Hong Kong's also obviously facing a massive shortage and rationing of masks and so on at the moment, and they're not happy about it because, the government obviously is. Hong Kong belongs to China now,
Sure.
So the Hong Kong government has been sending a lot of supplies to mainland, obviously to help, which unfortunately has left the
expensive locals.
Yeah, the locals now have a shortage because of that, which is an unfortunate situation. And this is why there's a lot of people criticizing Taiwan. But Taiwan was pretty smart. They stopped the export of masks because they knew this would happen. You see, they're on the ball. Now, everywhere else in the world doesn't have a good supply of masks, but Taiwan does. Because Taiwan knows, they know what happens in these kind of situations. Right. So you can't buy masks in Norway, or LA, but you can buy them in Taiwan if you're a local resident. And that's what's important, because you should be looking after your local population in a crisis like this.
For sure. Funbot, are the Chinese pro-CCP? Well, a lot of them are. And a lot of them are losing a lot of faith after this doctor's death.
Yes.
Which is very interesting dialogue. It's getting scrubbed from the internet like crazy, though.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's the first time in a very long time that people have called for freedom of speech. And there was actually a trend on Weibo, like a hashtag, which reached like 2 million viewers or reposts or whatever, asking for freedom of speech after the doctor died. It's been completely scrubbed, and any mention of it's been scrubbed since.
That's right. Generic username, thank you very much. Kevin S. MedCram is a great YouTube channel run by a doctor who describes everything you need to know about the coronavirus. Check them out. Stay safe. Much love. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Good suggestion.
It's very important not to trust one source of information.
No.
You need to look around and get as much as possible. And, we do speak to people on the ground. Of course, I still have all my doctor friends sending me. In fact, it's ridiculous. They've been sending me pictures, and I haven't shared them because I value their privacy, and I know that because people, nationalists attack me, it would definitely influence them. But I'll blur their faces out and share them. But they're wearing shower caps. They're taking like saran wrap and wrapping it around their hair and stuff because they don't have the medical equipment right now. It's pretty dire. That's in Shenzhen, and that's pretty far away from the epicenter of this thing.
It's very good to protect their privacy right now, because my DMs and my Twitter, all this kind of stuff, I am flooded. My inbox is flooded with threats, death threats, all this kind of stuff. It's almost like a witch hunt going on right now. Yeah. So if you were to include people that are watching us so closely, they might get witch hunted too.
There's another thing, you see, what people don't seem to realize is people like GPs. So, like what my wife...
general practitioner.
Was in China. It's not that they just have to deal with people in the clinics.
No.
They are actually put in charge of like neighborhoods.
Right. And
so what they have to do now under this crisis is after work, they have to go into all the buildings and take temperatures of people, make sure no one's dead in their home, do this kind of thing. So they're constantly being exposed to this potential virus everywhere. It's really quite insane the amount of risk that these guys are at, and they're not properly equipped. Although, according to my wife anyway, they now have all the face shields and stuff, for at least some of them, You're
talking about Shenzhen.
Yeah, it's Shenzhen. It's not like,
It's not like other places.
Not like Qingyuan.
Not like Hunan.
Yeah, some random little town. Anyway.
Peter Blantastic, thank you for getting the good information out there. I wish the Sinophile channels would stop praising the CCP's response so much.
Absolutely.
Well, that's how you stay safe in this current climate, isn't it? We see through,
Yeah, no, that's why the WHO may as well be one of those Sinophile channels.
Might as well, right?
It's despicable that they can't. It's not about the blame game.
No.
It's not about saying you guys screwed up, because they did.
Right.
And it doesn't matter how anyone tries to spin this. The CCP really dropped the ball on this. So did the WHO. But it's this idea that everything's under control. Oh, don't worry, the Chinese are doing such a great job. They've done such a great job. No, they're not doing a good job. At the moment, it's really still a problem. And people need to focus on that because they need to see how to prepare themselves.
When you read good news about this current situation, this virus in China, you need to understand that there's a massive chance that it's out of self-preservation for the CCP and their assets. Just keep that in your mind.
99% of all the news that we see in the official Chinese media is focused on what a great job they're doing by building these new hospitals.
Meanwhile, throwing everyone else under the bus.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, everything is great. Everything is good. We're doing such a good job.
Peak Prosperity actually got a hit piece from the Global Times I have to remember that.
Yeah.
It's one of the most hilariously despicable articles I've ever read. They question the fact that he's even a doctor, even though he is and accredited with journals. But they're really going out of their way to discredit anyone that even talks about it, and then only promote people that are supporting the CCP.
Yeah, we've got people attacking us all the time just because we're talking the truth and trying to pull the racist card and whatever else they try to do. Just because they're trying everything in the playbook to shut people down that are actually talking the truth. And that's what we try to bring you is the truth. We're not trying to spread conspiracy theories. There's all sorts of crap going on about a biological weapons lab or this or that. That can all take a hike.
You can bring that up when that's proven.
I don't care about that stuff. I care about what's happening right now. So we can talk about it and we can find solutions and find ways to help the people on the ground.
And unfortunately, it's very difficult right now. Kevin Clese says, if I send super chats, can you ensure some of the money will be forwarded to your contacts in China? Absolutely, you can.
We will. 100%.
And we're going to make sure that these channels actually get what they promised on, too. And we'll keep you guys informed.
Yeah.
And I think... Oops. Sorry, I missed one. Dr. John Campbell UK is a great YouTube channel. I've heard. Highly recommended. I'm going to believe there's one. And I guess that's about it. All right. Thank you guys very much. We wanted to make this a quick update.
Absolutely.
I'll see you on Wednesday.
Yeah. You'll see him on Wednesday. You'll see me on Friday.
We got the podcast this week.
Oh, yes. You'll see us on the podcast. We'll go more in depth. So if you want to join a more in depth, we'll keep you updated as to what's going on.
I linked the ADV podcast thing down in our description, so make sure you're subbed to that.
If you haven't seen our previous ADV podcast, you really should. It was a big update. We're going to keep bringing that to you guys. We can't wait to see you next time. Here's the thing. If you are in China right now, stay safe. Mm-hmm. Honestly, just... don't take any of this lightly. And I know there's a certain amount of people that keep pushing this idea that, it's calmed down a lot. People are going to come back to work now. Everything's fine. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. And they'll be like, don't worry, it's only in Wuhan or it's only in Hubei and it's very little here. Don't listen to that stuff. Take extra care at this point.
100%.
Because the state media is going to play down everything. It is a lot worse than they're making it out to be. And we have empirical proof that's been sent to us from people on the ground, which we'll be talking about soon. But the thing is, it's worse than what they're saying it is. Everyone knows that. Be careful if you're in China. And if you're not in China, start taking precautions that you wouldn't. Myself personally, I'm not good. I'm not big on washing my hands. I'll be honest with you. I wash my hands, I'm not like a dirty bugger, but
we're not hanging out anymore.
No. I'm not one of those guys that sits there and sings "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star" you know what I mean. Doing this,
we get it.
Yeah,
right.
I don't do that. Right? I just okay, I'm done. That kind of thing. But I've started to wash my hands a little extra every time I come back into the house. Well, it's my wife's a doctor. She keeps pestering me about it, so she won't let me do anything until I've washed my hands and stuff. I
think they know. Just wash your hands. You'll be all right.
Anyway, so wash your hands. Don't touch your face. I know everyone's going to say, you keep touching your face, but that's because I've got this nose hair that's really irritating.
Burn it off.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to trim my nose hairs or something.
Cool.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon. Stay awesome. Stay safe.